very visible and clearly perceived, I would say certainly heat waves, which also a component of victims that already established in very recent decades. Heat waves are the most evident phenomena, but there is a general increase of temperature that is also quite clear. And you don't have only heat waves on land, but also heat waves on sea. The other that is absolutely not controversial is the sea level rise. So clearly sea level rise and the effect of sea level rise in some specific special coastal locations such as Venice are already perceivable. Yeah, then talking from the point of view of climatologists, first I would reinforce that what has already been perceived, that is heat waves, increase of temperature, heat waves, I insist, both on land and on the sea, and sea level rise, with the implication for the coastal environments, are the most, what will have an impact sooner than the rest. Okay. Then also there is the impact of reduction of precipitation and increase of evapotranspiration, which will result in larger increased likelihood of droughts. But for precipitation, it is a bit controversial whether we are already observing it in some areas. But it is not controversial. There is a strong consensus among models that it will take place in the future. So one has to distinguish what we have already seen and what we think is very likely for the future. So decrease of precipitation, there is a medium confidence because there is a strong model consensus that it will take place in the future. It will be very important for the Mediterranean because it is already an area where ecosystems, but also human societies, are operating in a regime of water scarcity with very, very little precipitation during summer. So a further reduction could have very strong impacts on the ecosystem and on human activities. Sea level rise is something that there are no doubt about future sea level rise. The question is how much it will rise. Okay? But by the mid of the century, the expectation that it will be necessary really to take action in order to avoid severe damages and economic losses. In some sense, to optimize the use of resources nowadays is, in my view, perfectly in line with also adapting or mitigating future climate change. So, for instance, I was talking about reduction of precipitation and water shortages. Okay. Nowadays, a lot of improvement can be done by reducing the losses in the transport of water and in improving the efficiency of its use for agriculture, for instance. This, of course, in a scenario of future reduction, will help a lot to be prepared, already being more efficient now. For sea level rise, well, there is management and monitoring of the coastline in order to identify as soon as possible critical situations, and their investments are needed. But also now to managing and properly, also in terms of anthropic impacts, the coastal zone is important, not just in a future evolution. Another thing it is that we can have benefits now and plan for the future. It is improve the energy efficiency of buildings. And finally, as a general strategy, we have to find a process leading us to a progressive reduction of fossil fuels for production energy. And another thing I forgot to mention, it is efficiency of transportation for humans. I mean, we can do a lot on that. We have benefits on the short term, but also we are reducing impact of climate change and mitigating climate change for the future.